Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to make a beaded manta ray. And special thanks to Santiago Germano for requesting this. Sorry, I don't know if I pronounced your name right, but thank you for requesting this. Okay, so to get started, you will need for beads 174 I'm just going to call it number 1 beads because this is for the majority of the manta ray. And then you will need 40 beads, I'm just going to call them number 2, for the underbelly of the manta ray. And this one is like I think it's like a spotted eagle manta ray or something. It's like the one in Finding Nemo. But I'm just going to make a simple gray one today, so that way we don't have to worry about spots, but you can make yours any color you want. For wire, you will need 24 inches or 61 centimeters for the body. It's quite a bit, but this is a pretty large design, so we need a lot. So 24 inches or 61 centimeters. And we're gonna add both of the wings on separately. Wings, I don't know what they're really called. And you'll need 16 inches or 41 centimeters for each wing. So 2 16-inch or 41 centimeter wires. You will also need something to hold your beads in. I'm just using these little bead scooper containers. You will also need scissors to cut your wire and a ruler to measure your wire. And this is the wire that I use. I just got it at my local bead store, but most of the time I use pear wire, and this is on firemountaingems.com, and it's pretty cheap and really good quality. So, and it's the 28 gauge black copper wire. So let's get started on our manta ray. Just gonna move this out of the way. Okay, so get your long piece, your 24 inch or 61 centimeter piece, and fold it in half, so meet the two ends, and then strip it back and find the center. And we're going to start by putting 1 bead on either side of our wire. We're going to use our number 1 beads. Alright, so on either side of your wire, put 1 bead on and bring that all the way down to the halfway point. And now kind of hold it in place with your thumb and finger, and then take one of the wires and loop it around in through that bead, and now pinch with your fingers to hold it in the center and pull tight. Before pulling all the way tight though, you're gonna make sure your wires are even, and mine are. So now you can pull tight all the way. Now I like to grab the bead and just strip my wires back so they're nice and straight. And now we're going to do another row of 1. So whatever wire you want, doesn't matter. Take 1 bead, put it on, and then take the bead that doesn't, or take the wire that does not have any beads on it, loop it around and through that bead, and pull tight. There you go. Now we're going to do another row of 1, and we're going to do this 7 more times. So 1, 2, now 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, there we go. And you should have a total of 9 beads on your wire at this point, or I guess 9 beads for the tail. And now we're going to move on to a row of 3. So take 3 beads, put them on your wire all at the same time, 1, 2, and 3. Bring them down. Now take your wire that does not have any beads on it, loop it around and through those beads. Through those beads, should look like this, and you're going to pull tight. Gently pull tight, just like that. Now we're going to do a row of 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Bring those down. Now loop around through all those beads and pull tight. Now you're going to do a row of 5, but you're going to switch to your other color, your number 2 color. Oops. And you're going to put 5 beads on your wire. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Bring those down, and this is going to be like the belly layer, so we're going to do everything like normal. Take the empty wire, loop it around, and stick it through all your beads. Pull tight, but we're going to kind of layer it almost. So instead of going straight on with the rest of the beads, you're just going to push it down, and this will be the belly, the underbelly of the manta ray. Now we're going to do a row of 5 in our number 1 color. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Bring it down. Do the same process. Pull tight, and this, it will just kind of nestle in between. So it's gonna, we're gonna like form a zigzag kind of as we go. So now you'll see what I mean. We're gonna take our number 2 color and put 5 beads on our wire. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Bring those down. And now do the same process. And pull tight. And it'll kind of nestle in there. And as you see, we are creating a little zigzag with the wire. And now, can you guess? We're going to do 5 of our number 1 beads. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Bring it down. Same thing. Pull tight. And now we were really building up the body of the manta ray. Now you're going to do 5 of your color 1 beads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're basically just going to do this process over and over again until you run out of your color number 2 beads. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, oops, 5, bring it down. There you go. Another row of number 2 beads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And just let in, and now you can really see that zigzag that we're making. Now, another row of number 1 beads. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Number 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now number 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. There we go. Now color number 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pull tight. Now do another row of number 1 beads. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Pull tight. Now another row of number 1 bead, or no, sorry, number 2 beads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pull tight. Now another row of number 1s. 3, 4, and 5. Pull tight. Now we're going to use up our last of our number 2 beads. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pull tight. And now we're going to do one more row of 5 of our number 1 beads. You should be all out of number 2 beads. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And pull tight, just like that. And now what we're going to do is we're going to add these little curvy things on the front of the manta ray. So now we're just going to work on one of our wires this time and add 4 on that one wire. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Bring those down, and now we're going to separate one wire off of our manta ray and loop our wire around and stick it through, and skip this one bead and loop it around, or loop it through these other 3. Now pull tight, make sure it's like flush with the body. Pull tight. Just like that. You can adjust it however much you want. There's one. And now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So 4 beads on one of your wires. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Bring them down. Separate one bead out. Skip that bead and loop your wire through these 3 beads. And pull tight, but make sure it's flush with the body. It kind of separated a little bit, but we can fix that. Just pull each side, and now kind of just scoot the beads with your nail. It's a little bit tricky to get it perfect. All right, now once you're satisfied with that, then we're going to start to tie this off. So we're going to just loop the wire around and just stick it through the body, like a couple rows back. We really just need to tie this off and secure it somehow. So then just lightly pull it so it's just sticking out through, and then do the same thing with this. Lightly pull it. We don't want to tighten it too much, or else we can't really adjust these little I don't know what to call them, little things that are sticking out of the face of the manta ray. I don't know. And now we're going to just take our wires and twist them together. Just to secure it, like that. And now we can clip off the excess and fold down that little pointy bit right there. And now we're going to just mold these little, just like curve these little, I don't really know what to call them. I'm sure they have a name, but bend them so they're facing each other and they're just curved toward each other like that. And I kind of like to make, because technically this is the manta ray's mouth, I just like to curve this the beads kind of upward and like kind of like a little circle, or just like so they're not flat against each other. They're like kind of rounded out, if that makes sense. But yes, here is the body of our manta ray without the wings. So it kind of looks a little funny, but now we are going to add the wings and it'll look perfect. So first we're going to take one of our 16-inch or 41 centimeter pieces of wire, and we're going to, if you've done my beaded dragon, then you'll kind of be familiar with this process, but we're going to basically weave the wire through the side of the manta ray and then bead the wing from there. So we're going to start by folding our wire in half. So meet the two ends and strip it back in just a general half. So now I'm going to zoom in a little bit. We're going to start by looping one of the sides of our wire through one of the loops, the closest loop to the face, just right there. Just string your wire through and then kind of pull it all the way through to that halfway point that we made, kind of like that. And then kind of, so like put your wire up to the side, and then we're just going to make sure our wires are even. Mine are not. If you can see, they're not even. So I'm just going to pull on one side, and because we want to make sure both of our wires are even. But once we start, now my wires are even. Once we start weaving it through the side, we can't really adjust it, so we need to make sure. You do not want to just make this your center point and then like make your wires even based on this, because if your wires are even here, then once we do all the weaving, then if you see your wires, they're not even. So that's why we flatten it across the body and make them even based on that. So once you have that, hopefully that makes sense, you are going to take the wire that's facing down. I guess it's the same wire, but the side of the wire that's facing down, and you're going to weave it up through one of these little loops. Just like that. Pull tight, or I guess loosely tight, don't pull too tight. And now take that same side of the wire and loop it down and weave it through. You don't have to string your wire through every little loop, but just every other or every few loops, just so it is secure onto the side. There we go. Now that's facing down, we're going to loop it up. Now we're going to loop it down through something. Just keep weaving through. Now we're going to loop it down. And now we're going to loop it up one more time through that last loop connecting the gray and the white. And just like that, loop it up. And now we can strip our wires and just straighten them. And as you can see, mine aren't super even, but I think we'll have enough slack where that won't be a problem. So now we are going to start beading our manta ray's wing, or whatever it's called. First, you're going to start off with 12 beads. Just take one of your wires. I'm just using the one to my right because I'm right-handed, but if you're left-handed, you can work on this one. So, and you're going to put 12 beads on your wire. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. All right, so bring those down, and you're going to do the same thing, your empty wire. Loop it around, and we're just going to string it through half of those beads, so 6 of the beads. Let's say that is 7 beads, so 6 beads, and we're going to pull tight. And in order for it not to be all like there to be like a hole in our manta ray's wing, we are going to take our wire and loop it around and through just whatever. You could thread it through one of these wire loops or just thread it through the body of the manta ray. I'm just going to thread it through this loop right here. And this way it is a little more secure and it's not floppy, and yeah. And if you pull tight, then that gap closes. Okay, so now we're going to take the same wire and continue to loop it through, to string it through our 6 remaining beads. And pull tight, not too tight though, or else the manta ray will kind of scrunch up on itself. And there you go. There's the first row of your wing. So now the second row is going to be 10 beads. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now you're going to do the same thing, and we're going to start to just line up the beads on here so there's like a little gradual like slope in the wing, if that makes sense. So like line all the beads up straight here so then the wing is shaped correctly. Do the same thing. So take your empty wire, loop it around through half of your beads, so 5 of them, and pull tight. And instead of lining up toward the middle, just scoot your beads to the left or right, depending on how you're holding your manta ray. But and then pull tight, and then you're just going to take your wire, loop it around, and just hook your wire through that previous row that you did. And pull tight, and then loop your wire through the rest of your beads. And pull tight on both wires, and now you can see you're building up your wing. Now the next row, we are going to do a row of 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Do the same thing, but this time we're just gonna loop our wire through all of our beads, all 9 beads. And now pull tight, kind of line it up on the top of it, and there you go. See, this is gradually sloping upward. Now our next row is going to be 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Bring that down. Do the same process. And It naturally goes to the middle, but just scoot it to the left. Now we're going to do a row of 5. 1, 2, oops. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You got it turned around there. And do the same thing. Pull tight. Now we're going to do a row of 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Pull tight. Just like that. Now we're going to do another row of 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Pull tight, and now you're going to do a row of 3. We're almost done with this wing. 1, 2, oops, 2, and 3. And now we're finally going to do a row of 2. 1 and 2. And pull tight. There we go. And now we're going to tie this off. So take one wire, loop it around through those beads. Do the same with the other, but just in the opposite direction. Pull tight. Now take your wires, twist them together. Now snip off the excess. Fold that little pointy bit, and there you have your wing for your manta ray. And now we're just going to do the exact same thing on the other side. So you're going to take your wire, fold it in half roughly, and then take one of the sides and stick it through that first little loop. Oh, it's out of camera, sorry. First little loop, stick it up and through. And now we're going to try and find the center again. Make the ends of your wire and flatten some of your wire out against the side of your manta ray, and just even your wire. There, that's good enough. Now we're going to start weaving our wire through again. I'm just going to show you this process, but when I start beading, it is the exact same thing as the other wing. So you could just, I'm going to skip ahead in the video, but you can just go back in the video and watch it again. And my wires just got uneven, so just pull on the shorter wire. And it is kind of tricky, but you'll get the hang of it. So now loop down, loop up, loop down again, and then finally loop up through that final loop. And your wires, yep, they should be even. And now you're going to do the exact same thing you did on the first wing. So I will see you when I have done that. All right, I'm almost done with the wing, but I'm just going to do the final steps on video. So I have the last 2 beads on my wire, and now we're going to pull tight and then tie it off just like we did with the other wing. Same process. Now twist your wires together. Trim off the extra. And now fold down the pointy bit. And there you have your beaded manta ray. And feel free to adjust things any way you want. Just fine tune it and get it how you like it the best. So I hope you all enjoyed this tutorial. I hope it was relatively easy to follow, even though it wasn't a super easy design. And please leave below in the comments how yours turned out, and feel free to leave any suggestions down below in the comments as well. And next month I'm going to be making a simple beaded opossum. And special thanks once again to Santiago Germano. Again, I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name right. But yeah, thanks again for requesting this. And I hope everybody has a great month, and I will see you next time. Bye! Oops. Oh. Need something?
I'll be stepping on you every once in a while, okay?
Okay. 7, 10.
I just forgot Panda Express at 4.
Oh, shoot.